Okay, here's the deal. Summoner's War Lost Centuria, I think is the way to pronounce it, is out. And the game is actually good. Now, I'm not sponsored or anything. I've just found out it was out and started playing it because someone recommended it to me. And I really, really like it, weirdly enough. So what I want to do is I want to do a video teaching you guys what I've learned, tell you if it's worth it to spend money, what you should do in the beginning, what are the ranked games like, and just show you some basic gameplay to give you a full encompassing and feeling of what the game is, so you can have an informed decision if you want to even try the game, for instance, or if you do try it, what it is I'm working on and what you probably should do first. Now, that being said, I'm also going to give you some tips and tricks, but not all of that's going to fit into this video, so make sure to subscribe so you can see the next video, which is going to be more of a tips and tricks type of one, as this one is more of the let me show you the gameplay and first impressions, for instance. All right, so I'm a little bit of a whale in these type of games, so obviously we gotta have our ocean background while we're in the submarine here. Now, this is what the game looks like. I've been playing it on my iPad Pro. I also was playing it on my iPhone 12. Runs great. There is decent frame rates. The settings, you can change the graphics, etc. So you can go up to the 120, for instance, from the 60. I'm Darth Micro. Feel free to add me in-game if you would like. Now, here's how it works, okay? This game, the first thing I'm gonna do is, if you haven't even seen the game at all, I'm gonna show you a ranked battle, because you do basically go right into ranked battles. You set your formation, which is essentially your team. There's 4 people in the front, 4 people in the back. The characters will start by attacking the people in the front and work their way towards the back. Think almost like, you know, the back in the day, the Game Boy Advanced, like Tactical Wars, I think it was, or Advanced Wars, for instance, where you kind of attack the guys and you work through the lines. That's essentially what's going on here. Now, there's a cool thing about it, which it has a mix of these like abilities in the bottom corner, which is each character's ability. Now, I'm waiting for the enemy to take an ability, because when somebody uses an ability, if you use your ability after, it is a counter, meaning you can go the second you hit it. So if he does a stun, I could, for instance, do one that would give that character like a shield immunity or something like that. See, there's a counter once again. That one steals whatever buff the tank has and heals everyone. So it wasn't a good one. I'll go first this time. Here we go. Let's see if he counters. He did do a counter, but my freeze went off first. He was a little late, which killed my guy. But if he'd done that counter sooner, as soon as he saw it go off, he could have actually killed that person before my move went off, for instance. So you can figure out this game is really, they do a smart way of doing the combat mechanics of both fighting as well as the counters. Now, I have the game audio muted for this round because I want to be able to explain what's going on, but in the other videos, we'll have the game audio on, etc. The game audio is, as you would assume, people are doing battles, etc. Now, I didn't do any counters or anything there. So when you're at 10 mana, which is the bottom right corner, you don't gain more mana. Now, you can see some of these moves I can't do because that character is either stunned or he's got it on like a silence or a mana up exhaustion where that move would take more. Now, you're noticing some characters have like purple backgrounds, some are green, some are gray, some are orange. Orange means it's a legendary character. My back row does have 3 legendary characters because I've spent about $50 in this game so far to open up some of the packs and really see what you can get out of it. In my personal opinion, the value you get is going to be subjective to where you feel like you want to be in ranking. This game is much similar to games like Clash Royale. When you buy essentially like characters, they count as cards. When you put a couple cards together, they will level, for instance, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm basically getting my booty handed to me because I'm trying to both play and explain. When you lose a character, you lose the ability to do their moves. So you can see they're killing through my front line, going into the back line there, and I still have these characters, so I have these 4 moves available. Now I'm doing a really bad job, and he's doing a good job because he put Invincible on the front tank, so I went to attack. It's not like I can choose who exactly I'm going to attack, right? Some characters, for instance, do AoE. Some characters attack the front line. Now, this is an ability. You have it's Summoner's War. So you yourself, the player, is the summoner, and that's who that character that appeared was. And what that was it stuns the back line. So you can see some moves hit the front line, some moves hit the back line. You'll notice there's buffs and debuffs, red being the debuffs, blue being the buffs, being the positive effect, obviously, and debuffs being the negative effect. Now, you can see there's different abilities like recover ally, etc. And then there's some moves that do like remove beneficial effects, etc. So you have moves that can both strip away while healing your people at the same time. Each character has sort of their own build and what they do. Now, besides just leveling the character, there's something also called runes in this game, which is essentially like gear, if you're familiar with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. or really gear or mods or gear or whatever you would call it, runes in other game. Essentially, you have 3 items that can go on each character that can be removed, and you can build them based upon those 3 different runes, okay? So basically, your 2 levels of being able to use your character are going to be determined by either the runes you have selected or the level, meaning how many of that character you've collected. Now, when you pull a legendary, they give you a chance to like buy a pack to level up that legendary, things like that. So if you are a mega well, you can in fact well very quickly, which will make your characters just flat out stronger. Okay, so the key to enjoying this game, if you're going to be a free-to-play person, is 1, understanding it's much like Clash Royale, where you can be competitive once you get to a build that is maxed out in cards. But in order to do that, you're going to have to, instead of actually paying for it, you're going to have to grind your way through, okay? Now I'm going to show you very quickly here how you set your formation. This is it, the front line, back line. You can put your different characters there. You can also level your characters as well. You go to monsters, that's your characters or heroes, champions, whatever you want to call them. And then when you're in here, you can click on the character you have. You can try to upgrade them. Again, I have 5 of the 10 cards collected. Now let me show you what it looks like when you summon something so you can get how to actually get these characters. So here you go. You get these by just playing the game, and these will open the kind of the mini chest, which goes all the way up to an epic character, the purple ones. For instance, the gray is just the normal character, but you do get cards. Now you do get a chance to get more than one when you pull a book or something like that, or a chest. This is, for instance, a book here. Oh, that was a single one, and I straight up got a legendary of it. That's like pulling a legendary out of an ancient shard. That's like a 15% chance to get a legendary. So we got really, really lucky right in the beginning. I can't believe we pulled a legendary right in the beginning of this video. This is awesome. I'm gonna be able to show it to you guys here. So there you go. So we get a legendary. Who did we get? We ended up getting, oh, I don't have her yet. So I don't, instead of just getting another card to level a legendary I already had, this is a brand new one called Camilla. Ragnarok inflicts damage on all allies, or excuse me, on all enemies. You want on all allies. And the allies grant crit rate up, the damage increases according to your max HP. So you would build her with the runes, for instance, to get her max HP up. There you go. Now there is a chance when a character drops for it to be like a ×3, a ×5, a ×10. And I'm gonna do another poll just paying the gems right here because I kind of want to show you what that looks like. Now you can tell when you open the book what you're gonna get. That was a gray one, right? Because I have the gray. And I didn't really realize that when we were pulling the legendary. That's why it looked like the legendary one. I'm still fairly new to this. So I'm going to do a couple of these single pulls. It is cheaper. If you do a 10 pull, you will get a 10% discount when you do the 10 pull. But I really want to show you guys that you can get like a ×3 or ×10 real quick and just give you a few examples here of the bonuses. Now, there's a level 5. So what I can do here is I'll show you what it's like when you level your character up. So now I have these characters to level. The mana stones, or the blue gem looking things, that is essentially your silver, your gold, whatever, your normal currency. And the crystals are premium currency, which can be earned by playing the game or obviously just flat out welling. Now, currently the game is brand new, so there's a lot of login events where you're getting a lot of like free premium currency, free pose. I got a free pose today, which had that legendary in it. That's how I had that book that we just got the legendary from. So you can actually get a bunch of free stuff. This game also does have a pity timer, meaning if you got really unlucky, you will get a guaranteed legendary. Let me show you, okay? In the bottom corner, you see the bottom left there, the pity timer is at 20, 60, and 100. So next one, we get a pity, and I'll show you what that pity is. It's a skill stone, which helps you like upgrade the levels of the characters, for instance, their skill abilities, because you can upgrade those as well. So here we go, we got another, just a comment. See, that's the ×3. Now I get to show you that, for instance. Now look, right there, the 60, we have the pity, so I can click on that, and we're guaranteed to get a skill stone, a premium skill stone here, and we got it for this character. Increases the damage of the wind blade by 20%, for instance. So you can see the skill stones are super important, but so are the legendaries. Now I'm 40 more pulls away, and then I'll get a guaranteed legendary at 100. You can see right down there. And the pity doesn't reset if you pull a legendary. Like if you pull a legendary, it doesn't go back to 0. You just get an extra one at 100. Okay, the last few things you need to know, the user interface, okay? In the main lobby is where you're gonna start. The shop's on the left hand with the event monsters, which I already showed you in your formation. Now, the events is essentially what's gonna be happening in the game at the time you're looking at it. Now, an important thing is to get in soon because the game just started. There is like basically 1 month of really good rewards. You can go in here, you get new users attendance, for instance. You get these glory boxes, which are essentially rewards that you get after just playing the game normally. You can get these glory box rewards, and you get a really nice temporary boost as well in your mail. Now, they get deleted after you look at them, but when you start out, you're going to get a whole bunch of freebies over the weekends as well as over the next week. They're giving out stuff. Like I got a free book just today when we got the legendary out of it, and one of them was like free crystals. And so I probably get in sooner rather than later, okay? Again, I'm not sponsored. I don't have a download link. This is just for informative purposes. Now, territory is unlocked once you play a little bit, and basically this is pretty simple. This is where you can go and kind of farm, or I should say synthesize these different characters by putting the right characters in. It's kind of like a fusion, a swap around. I'm not a huge fan of this type of stuff because typically, I don't know enough to be honest about it since I'm pretty new myself, but typically those type of things tend to be really expensive. I'll have to look into that more and give you a more in-depth type of breakdown of the mission office once I'm more professional at it. I just started playing this game yesterday, but I'm really, really into it, so I'm going to be playing a lot. Now, the crafting building is pretty cool because this is where you actually get your runes. Something I didn't show you was when you actually go to monsters here and you look at your runes, you click on a character, the rune is right here, the wire right in the middle, okay? You have the 3 different runes, and you can select, I want a rune to go here. Yeah, I can enchant it, which is essentially you use these scrolls to sort of level it up, for instance. There you go. See what you can get. And then there's also there's the power up here, which is like leveling once again in a sort of a different way, but you have to essentially grab other runes to do it. It's kind of like slicing almost, if you're familiar with mods in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So this part can get a little complicated and is really where the grind is going to be. But the cool part about this rune system is it allows you to build the same characters different ways. So it's not just like Clash Royale where you're essentially stuck with like this character only does one thing. I mean, you can kind of try to build them different. Now, I'm sure there's going to be optimal builds, but people like me who are a little wacky and like building troll teams and aren't necessarily going for max efficiency are huge fans of these type of things because it gives us more of a creative, independent type of way of being unique. Mostly people like to personalize things, so I'm a huge fan of that personally. Alliance is pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of like a guild or a clan. The Alliance Trading Post is where you can go to request different cards, for instance. We do have an actual alliance. If you would like to join the alliance, okay, you can join it. We are called the Well Pod. That simple. I just made it, okay? The join request list, nobody. So we have all of the room. Feel free to pile in now. You don't have to be a well. You can be free to play. It's totally fine. And I'm willing to give out some cards that I have in the trading post. If you request something, I'm willing to give you what I can to help you out as well, okay? The Alliance shop is pretty important because it's where you go to spend the tokens you make from the Alliance to get free stuff. Look, like you can actually get insane stuff. Normal skill summon ticket or a hero card, for instance, even tokens, stuff like that, all the resources you need. So pretty important to get one of those as soon as you can. The quests are self-explanatory. It's just do this, get X rewards. And that pretty much wraps up everything. TV is where you can go to watch like the best players. You can also copy people's builds. So you can go look at what they have, look at the characters, the runes, all that type of stuff, and essentially be able to learn without having to go to YouTube videos like these ones, okay? Now, speaking of YouTube videos, I don't want to make this one too long. This is the first of many for this game. I actually really like this game. I'm excited by this game, and I've been playing it off camera, so do try it out. Join the Discord if you want to help me learn about this, as well as, share your polls you got. I'll have that in the description. Make sure you subscribe with the bell on to be notified if you want more Summoners War content, because YouTube sometimes only notifies people of like my raid videos, for instance, so make sure you hit the bell. Thanks for everything. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next video.